Hello, my mouse friends. Let's see what's going on with you today. You are, of course, the earth element. And here we go. Detail-oriented, small-minded, nitpicky, nervous. The mouse has an innate desire to tend to the details. It often spends its days fixing, preparing, organizing, and scrutinizing. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. Soon they begin to have a limited and fearful vision of life and try to control every detail. This can be quite a painful experience for both the mouse and those around them. When mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. It may be time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye. When in balance, organized, resourceful, prepared. When out of balance, busy with no purpose. To bring into balance a meaningful project. All right. So, it's an interesting place to be in. I'm getting the sense of a lot of busyness without perhaps a clear direction or avoiding something, using busyness to avoid something. It's a common thing that people do. Anyway, we have the tea leaf cards, which are here to let you know whether or not this is actually your reading. And you got 7 cards today. First of all, Crown, honor and respect will come to you. I'm not sure if it's that honor and respect will come to you or if that's a big concern of yours. Do you feel honored or respected? Not necessarily in a crown kind of way, because that's really overblown, but in your life in general, do you feel that the people in your life respect you? Do you feel valued, appreciated, that kind of thing? All right, let's look at the rest of these. Nest. An emotionally secure and loving family is important to you, but we also have a period of frustration and lessons to be learned. Well, family's good for that, aren't they? Family can be very frustrating, and they will definitely make you learn things whether you like it or not. Then we have dog barking, advice from a friend, and cracked cup. So again, this sense of frustration and dissatisfaction. Perhaps you've reached out to a friend, possibly having to do with your family. But then we have February and mountain, a major challenge to overcome. So something has happened in February, will happen in February, maybe happens every February. I don't know whether every February is challenging or a particularly challenging February has just occurred, something like that, or is about to occur. But I think how you handle it will have a big impact on this, or has had. Okay, so these cards should be familiar in some form or fashion to you, so that's why I don't want to put any sort of timeline on it, or it may be the past for some of you, it may be the present, it may be the future, but it should just be familiar in some way, and that's how you will know whether or not this reading is for you. Now, today I will be using the Crow Tarot to figure out or ask, what is it that brought you here? Why are you here? What's on your mind? The first thing out looks like 10 of Wands. You're feeling overburdened. It's likely that you've been carrying a lot of other people's burdens. So some of these wands Some of this load needs to be set down because it's quite simply not yours to carry. And that is a lesson that you have to learn. Next we have the moon. That may be in a bit of a state of flux for you. It kind of wanted to come out sideways in the uncertainty position. Now we have the Queen of Cups in reverse, unfortunately. So this could be someone who is I mean, it could be a maternal kind of figure in your life, but not a positive one. And we have the Tower next to it, which kind of confirms that this one definitely came out sideways. All right, sorry about that. Okay, Queen of Cups in reverse. Queen of Cups is highly emotionally intelligent, but this one may be highly self-indulgent and manipulative, uses their ability to understand others' emotions to manipulate others' emotions. So, you know, emotional blackmail, that kind of thing. But there is a Tower going on. So a foundation with this Queen of Cups is being destroyed. And it is uncertain how that is going to affect your Pentacle situation, your material position in life. It may call for a complete do-over, or it may be that it is planting something brand new for you. Of course, both things could very easily be true. We have another another Queen also in reverse next to this King of Wands in the upright. So the Queen of Pentacles is someone in reverse, is someone who holds himself back, who doesn't believe in their own ability or deservingness or right to receive the success, the prosperity, abundance that they would very much like to have. So, they are their own worst enemy. The King of Wands in the upright, that's a good sign. The King of Wands in the upright would be someone who is creative and inspired and inspiring. Someone, a good leader. Can be a good leader because of the inspiring aspect of them. But now we have the Page of Pentacles. I do not get the sense that this is different people. This could very easily be one person. So they may present a bold, confident, inspiring front, but there is an underlying sense that they don't deserve. And the Page of Pentacles in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles, there's a lot of issues around material well-being here. It's interesting that this all came out after the Ace of Pentacles. So charismatic, attractive, inspiring leader. But behind it all, a sense of being a beginner, a sense of not growing up, perhaps not wanting to grow up, not wanting to take on responsibilities, feeling like it's too much of a burden, possibly feeling like they don't deserve or they're not strong enough. Oh, I forgot to talk about the Ace of Wands in reverse. Next to the Moon, There is a sense of not being inspired. So we have this situation with a lot of burdens, probably to do with family, especially given the tea leaf cards. The moon being more of an uncertain moon would be perhaps some things about to come to light. The sense of things probably beginning to fall apart, because you do have the tower right underneath the moon. So that will cause things to come to light, it will cause things to fall apart, and you may have a sense of impending doom, honestly. But the Ace of Wands, you have no ideas about what to do about it. The Ace of Wands in reverse. The Ace of Pentacles, the uncertainty about the financial well-being, about what is going to replace this, how things are going to work out. A lot of fears, which is consistent with the mouse personality. People tend to become over-controlling when they are feeling fearful and uncertain. And there's definitely a sense of this King of Wands feeling very, not feeling strong, just putting on a good front, a good confident face to the world. But very, very concerned about the material aspects of their life. You did not get the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So this is more like aspects of the personality that need attention, your shadow. You have the Moon card, so that could definitely be indicating that you need to do some shadow work. And these cards are indicating the areas that are most calling for attention right now. Okay. You got the Hanging one. So the thing that's kind of taken me by surprise is that I did a short form reading, one of my 3-minute ones, for the Soul Connections, my Soul Connections viewers, and that is the card that came out, one of the cards that came out. So it may be that you are being called to let some things go, to sacrifice. It will feel like a sacrifice. I mean, I know I put it right on top of the tower. That seems like the right place for it. So the Hanging one could call for, in the upright, I'm thinking more, a change of perspective, a need to look at things from a different angle, in a different way. I think the Four of Cups came out with that card too in the other reading. So again, there is a sense of things, there's more than one way to see things. And you may not be seeing the whole picture because you need to change your perspective. That doesn't change the fact that it is likely that you are going to have to give some things up. You have the Tower card here, so some things are going to be leaving your life because your life has to change, because the foundation that you built your life upon is not strong or stable. So, with that in mind, it's understandable why this Ace of Pentacles is about beginning your financial stability or material stability, about planting those seeds. And it may be that it's in the uncertainty position because you are feeling like you have to start over again, or you may have to start over again, or you're afraid of having to start over again. And that is not a comfortable place to be in. But it's not the end of the world either. It may feel like it, but having to start over again is also an opportunity. So, the hanging man, hanging one, hanging, yeah, whatever. The point is, you may have to make some material sacrifices right now. And maybe that's what you're afraid of. All right, let's see what the universe has to say about all this. Okay. Perhaps you can be fearless, fierce, and determined, but you may also have some very serious inner demons. Networking. Could be networking, networking can be done online or offline, of course, but it's hard to imagine anybody not doing online networking as well as online. I mean offline. Okay, so publicity, exposure, connected, having to reach out to others. I think having to reach out to new people, new communities, expanding your circle of acquaintances, people you do business with. It will require you to be brave and bold, heart-centered and courageous. Leadership, again. Oh my gosh. You have 2 lions. Oh, wow. Okay. So obviously you need to get in touch with your inner lion. You need to be brave and strong and bold and heart-centered and courageous. You need inner strength. Now, you also have to think about the strength card. So the strength card in most decks, most tarot decks, has the lion. It has a woman who is taming the lion through gentleness, understanding, compassion, sensitivity, listening, active listening. It also has the lemniscate, the eternity symbol. So it's really striking how much this King of Wands looks like the Strength card. The salamander here is a representation of the fire element, particularly in alchemy. You also have a wand, because this is the King of Wands. And fire, of course, is the King of Wands element. But there is the need to master something here. To move from being this uncertain King of Wands who's hiding a lot of fears around worthiness, I think. And be willing to grow up, become more, grow into their inner strength, into their confidence. Oh, I was going to look for let's see. I wanted to see if I could find the 8, the strength card. I'm curious because I haven't worked with this deck a lot, so I don't remember seeing the strength card in this deck. I might have. I probably have, but I don't remember it. So I want to see what it looks like. Watch it be like the last card in the deck. There it is. See, I told you. Lemniscate, the eternity symbol. For me, that's very much a sign of the divine. It's also definitely an alchemy sign. The transmutation of what are perceived as weaknesses into strength. All right. Not sure we really needed that, but having the Lion card come out like that, I was not expecting that. All right, so being strong enough to reach out to others, to develop new relationships, new connections, a new circle, a social circle. That's not the right word. New business circle. A new way of doing business. A new business altogether, perhaps. If getting online is new for you, perhaps that's the case. You got stepping stones. So you are working on something new, and it may very well involve spiritual growth. There is progress going on. It is slow. It is going to take small steps. You do need to work on confidence. See, there it is. Confidence. The white wolf. Confidence, guidance, trust your inner knowing, believe in your power. That is how you become confident. When you believe in yourself, when you understand yourself, know yourself, and you do the hard things. Because when you do the hard things and succeed, that builds confidence like nothing else. When you do the hard things and fail, those are valuable lessons. Now, you have the red herring. You've gotten some misleading or bad information somewhere along the way. But you are very inexperienced with whatever is happening now that your tower has come down. So it's not... You may have been misguided by yourself or someone else. That is perfectly fine. I mean, you don't want to stay that way, but everybody makes mistakes. That's what I'm trying to say. Everybody makes mistakes. Somebody, whether yourself, the internet, somebody you know, may have given you misinformation, tried to distract you. But that doesn't mean the distraction lasted. I don't think it did, because we have the child here, which is my card of coming home to the self. Well, I have two child cards, and they're both cards of coming home to the self. One happens to show a female child, one happens to show a male child. I don't think it matters. Male or female child. Coming home to the self. And we have the moon showing up again. It's really wild when we have... This is not a tarot deck, so when the... most of these cards in here do not correspond well with tarot cards. There's only a few, I think, because this is my opinion. I have no idea what the intentions of the creators were, but there are only a few cards in this deck, relatively speaking. There's over 100 cards. 133? 180. So 100 cards. No, 133 cards. There's some mini cards I don't use very often. So 133 cards, and I don't know, maybe a dozen of them correspond to the tarot. And you've gotten 2 so far out of 9. All right, so the moon, shadow, subconscious, Perhaps fantasies you've been telling yourself, but perhaps shadow work. Oh, a surprise, a game changer. Perhaps the divine is going to be taking a hand in your life. Something unpredictable that comes along and just creates a major opportunity or possibility. A surprise. You can't really plan for this. So if that's what you've been doing, or trying to do, it's, if there is a cause and effect going on, gaining momentum, I don't think it's under your control, which is, you know, you have the mouse energy. I think that's a major lesson for you, is that things are not under your control. And if you try, you'll just the more you try to be in control of things, the more I think you will find that you are not in control and you can't force things. You can't force a new beginning before it's ready to start. But you may have this surprise, this opportunity coming through. Or maybe it already came through. Yeah, we had, so this is the wild card. This is the strategic planning, but it also says the butterfly effect, which is something you have no control over. And perhaps that's why we have the false start here. Something happened that was completely unpredictable for you, and all of your strategic planning went into the butterfly effect, or became dominated by the butterfly effect. The result was false start, poor timing, misfire, failure to launch. Inexperience. That's interesting when you have the child card here. So overall, I'm getting the sense of someone who is perhaps a natural born leader, or perhaps those qualities have been cultivated in you through your life. But, or maybe it's just been required of you by your family circumstances, and you stepped into the role, but without really believing in your ability to fulfill the role. It's not that unusual. This is interesting. All right. Now there is a desire for peace, harmony, effective communication. But still, this desire to control the process, to do it now, get it done. And then we have woman. This could be you. This could be the person on your mind, or a person on your mind. So somebody you want to communicate effectively with, and you really want to get things going now, which isn't necessarily the right approach. But let's see what the universe has to say. All right, we have the broom. A lot of cleanup needed here. Purging, removing unwanted stuff. A clean sweep. Oh, do you want a fresh start? A starting over? It does say unavoidable. Restoring harmony. That's interesting. I think the dolphins, did they say harmony? Humor, collaboration, joy. There it is, harmony. Oh, this is funny. You got the crow. You got the crow deck and the crow. All right, memories, remembering, mystery, magical power, a new event or happening, clever problem solver, observant, and omen. Crows are also widely associated with magic. So perhaps, well, it does say magical power. I'm not quite sure what that has to do with this purging, clean sweep kind of energy. Well, as far as the race car goes, we have snowflake. So a delicate situation, vulnerable, handle with care, perhaps frozen. Change of state. Change of state is big. Change of state is when something changes. Specifically, it refers to changing a solid to a liquid or a liquid to a vapor. So for water, it's, snow and ice into water into steam. But the thing that isn't talked about as much is how big a change that is and how much energy is required to push something from one state to the next state. It does require a lot of energy. But we also have vulnerable, one of a kind, handle with care, fragile, and a need for precision. So there needs to be a release or a removal of old things, perhaps memories, perhaps old resentments. Finding a new way forward is going to require a lot of care, a lot of energy. Changing from one state to another is not easy, and it takes time. It's interesting that I'm not getting any, these cards have not really, we started off with a little bit of talk about the material things as far as business with networking and working on inner confidence, which actually applies to your entire life. And now we have effective communication, restoring harmony. And the need for care. All right, anything else? All right. It will, this is clock, perfect timing. It will happen when it happens. The culmination of many things. You have a lot of issues here, actually. And transformation is required. Also the need to let go of control, which I think is the hanging one. Can be a tough lesson, a very challenging thing to do for someone who has a lot of control issues. All right, Stork, transformation, change, active, renew, restless, arrive, depart, move, renovate, pregnancy, birth, slender, tall. Interesting. It needs to mature. There needs to be transformation and maturity. It takes time. Be patient. It's just not now. It's just not time. You're going through a lot. There is a lot going on here. You've gone through a tower moment or are going through a tower moment, which is causing you to rebuild yourself, rebuild your life, perhaps a new career even. And that takes time. And you need to be patient with that. Remember, there was that child card, so in many ways you are inexperienced with whatever is going on now. And it takes time to learn the lessons that are associated with this new way of being, new approach to life. There is a process of development. And you can't skip steps. So it will happen when the time is right. For now, you may be restless and wanting things to be moving faster. We did get that race car, but there is a need for development. All right, let's see. I think I'll go with an abundance card for you. I just feel like that's a really big issue. And it's called the Divine Abundance Oracle, but it's not strictly about money. It's about abundance, which is not quite the same thing. So let's see what we get here. You got two cards, ease and humility. I do get the sense that you have a lot of pride, so you may need to balance it out a bit. All right, ease. It's easy for me to receive. It's easy for me to receive. It's easy for me to receive. There you go, an affirmation. Then we have humility. Allow me, Divine, to always accept the right assistance. I welcome your help in every way and delight in receiving it. They go together pretty well, don't they? As far as allowing, it is an act of humility. And you being the lion, you may have a little trouble with humility. And being receptive. So, I am wishing you all the best. Take care. Till next time.